truly is power, and never more so than an item like we've got coming up next. So if you don't know your readings as far as your blood pressure is concerned, we believe that every single home in America should have one of these machines, because it makes all the difference. Because when you have the knowledge, then you know you can do something about it. But blood pressure, high blood pressure, is what they also call the silent killer. And we want to make sure that all of our HSN people, or all of you out there, are nice and healthy. So let me just show you exactly what you're going to get, because this is my voice gets a little slow because this is an important kind of serious item, but it's easy to use. That's what's so exciting about it. So it's from SmartHeart. It's an automatic arm digital blood pressure monitor. You're going to get this extra large size monitor. That means it's going to be super easy for you to read. None of these little tiny numbers anymore, really, really big. And then you're going to get the arm wrist cuff, but it's got a little clamp on it, so no more pumping. So it's super easy to use and fit on you. We're going to show you how to do that. You're going to get 4 of the AA batteries included with your offer. You're going to get a tracking log. You're also going to get a frequently asked questions sheet. So if you have questions, you know right where you can go. And we're going to show you, look how easy this is to use. You can see that those numbers come up super, super simply. We've got FlexPay today, so it's a price break. And for 4 FlexPays, for less than $15, you can find out about your family's health, because there are no symptoms for high blood pressure. And I think that's why they call it the silent killer, because you don't know what's going on. But once you know what's going on, then you can do something about it. I have a special guest with me today. I've got Rob here, Rob Moss, and he's been with us before. Yes. You have the medical background, and you know how important knowing about high blood pressure is to any individual, for you, for your family.
That's right. You mentioned something in the opening I think is really important for everybody to understand, is that high blood pressure doesn't have any signs or symptoms usually. There's nothing that's going to alert you that this is going on inside your body. Really, the only way to know is to measure your blood pressure. So I have this set up here so I can take your blood pressure. Yep. I just want to show everybody how easy this is. This cuff design, this innovative cuff design, is amazing. I just want to show you. Look what they've done here. They've actually made this like a little clip that you just clip on your arm. And, then close it with the hook and loop, and that's all there is to it. It really solves a lot of problems, because
sometimes it's hard to do for yourself.
Right, by yourself.
You're trying to give, right?
Exactly. So
which arm
I'm going
do
to
you
come
want?
around here. Okay. Ideally, you want to take your blood pressure on the left side. That's where you're going to get the most accurate reading. That's where all the blood vessels come off the heart. Right. So on the left side, unless there's a medical reason why you can't, and if that's the case, you're certainly going to be aware of that. So I'm going to show you again. This just opens, just a little clip. If you can open a hair clip, you can do this, right? So this just clips right on your arm. You always, with any blood pressure cuff, you always want the tubing to go down toward your hand. You don't want it going up toward the shoulder, down toward your hand. And then you want to put this about just about a finger width or 2 above the bend of the elbow here. And then this is going to come around with the hook and loop. And then you're simply going to plug this into the side of the machine. I like to plug this in after I put the cuff on, but you can certainly do it with it plugged in. It doesn't make any difference. I just find it a little easier. So look at this display. This is absolutely huge, as you mentioned. I mean, it's one of the biggest ones I've ever seen.
It's fantastic.
And it supports 2 users. You can see here there are 2 buttons. And so this is going to support 2 separate users, going to keep all of your results separate for you. So I'm going to start with user 1 here. And simply a push of the button, you're going to see it do a self-diagnostic test there, and then it's going to begin taking your blood pressure. It takes about 40 seconds or so. So I'm just going to put that there. And while that's cycling, I'd like to show everybody some statistics, if we can, about how prevalent this has really become in the United States today. There are 67 million Americans that have high blood pressure, but only 53 million know they have it. So there's 14 million people that this is going on every day, 24 hours a day, inside their bodies, damaging their cardiovascular system, and they simply don't know they have this going on. Right. So if they take their measurements, they can certainly find out. And then if you look a little further here, 47 million are being treated, but only 31 million have it under control. There's another 16 million people that really need to do this all the time, right? Every day. So I'm going to show you here. We've got some results for Melinda here. So the first thing you see is how clear and easy this is to read. This is a huge LCD display. It also has a backlight, so if you're doing this in dim light, it's going to light up for you. Your top number here, Melinda, 122, that's in normal range. That is when your heart is contracting and it's sending blood through the system. And then this bottom number here, diastolic pressure, that's when your heart is at rest. So that's between beats. That's the remaining pressure in the system. It's also giving you your pulse down here. It has this little heart here, and it also does something called irregular heartbeat detection. And so if your heartbeat was irregular, Melinda, this would have a little shaking quality to it.
Wow.
And then over on the side here, you can see these hypertension indicators, and it does this for both. Normally what you see is just one hypertension indicator for the overall number, but this is doing it individually for your systolic and your diastolic. So you can see here the diastolic's a little bit high. It's got your date and time stamp here. And again, this is going to store your results, 90 measurements for each of two users.
For two people.
That's
but
right.
Then the last time I did this, my blood pressure was so high. You know, I told you that. It was so high. And you said partly that's because you're on air and you're at high energy and all that. But you said that one of the things that's so great about this is because you're capturing 90 readings, you're getting a real better picture of what your real health is, not just a snapshot of one.
That's right. One single measurement doesn't really tell us a lot when it comes to blood pressure because it does fluctuate throughout the day and under different circumstances.
Right.
So getting a measurement over time, and again, this is storing 90 measurements for each of two users. So if you think about that, Melinda, you're doing it once a day. Right? So that's 3 months worth of information for each user that this is going to store automatically for you. So you can really get a great picture of what's happening with your blood pressure over time, and that really tells us a lot. You can actually take this with you to your doctor, and I want to show you the first thing that comes up when you press the memory button, and this is another thing I love, each user has its own memory button. There's no confusion there. So you push this, and what comes up, you see that backlight?
Yes.
That first measurement that comes up is an average of the last 3 readings that the user had. So that average is telling you, okay, over the last 3 days, if I'm doing this once a day, this is what my blood pressure has been running over a 72-hour period. That's really great information for you and your doctor to talk about together.
Right. And it's lit. I like that part, too, because you
Beautiful.
could be lying in bed. It could be dark if you want to take your
That's right.
your readings and see exactly what those are. So it's super easy to use. It's large. The numbers are so easy to read. And because of that new little clip cuff that goes on so simply, it's never been easier for you to take your own blood pressure than it is today. We have less than 400 left for the entire country. We're already down to 400.
Wow.
And I think that Rob's going to show us a little bit more on how easy this is to use with one of our models here.
Yes, yes, I'm over here with Jen, and I just want to show you, because one of the challenges of an upper arm cuff is really just getting it on. So I want to show you with Jen how easy this is to do by yourself because of the way they've designed this cuff. Again, it's simply a clip. That's all it is. And it clips right on your upper arm. They call it the Easy Cuff, and it couldn't be more true. You see, Jen has already got this on. It just took her a couple seconds to put that on.
Usually they're slipping around.
And there's usually
you're
a little
fussing
struggle.
with them.
That's right.
Exactly. It doesn't need to be a struggle.
So this is very simple. She's pushed one button, and that's going to start taking her blood pressure. It takes about 40 seconds to get some really important information. Because what people don't understand is that when you have high blood pressure, if it's left undetected and untreated over time, it begins to damage your cardiovascular system. And so what you end up with are possibilities of heart attacks or stroke or kidney disease. But the great news is if you find out your numbers are a little high or out of range, you can actually take steps to correct that. Sometimes it's a simple matter of changing your diet, getting a little more exercise, but your doctor can tell you what you need to do. It's just really important that you get the information first so that you find out what's happening inside. There's nothing that's going to tell you on the outside.
Exactly. And so there's no reason to not get this information. I mean, we really, truly believe that every single family in America, every home should have one of these. So, bring one of these home for your family. Start to take your readings. You and your husband, or you and one of your children, maybe, you've got a child that's maybe a bit overweight and you are concerned about their blood pressure, because blood pressure is for all ages, all races, all weight levels. So, really to take care and to know that knowledge is power is really important. So, just to let you know that you're getting this really amazing large monitor. That's one of the biggest things that's new. Maybe you already own a blood pressure system. This would be a great replacement. So look at how large that is. The numbers are going to be big and they're going to be well lit. So they're going to be really easy to read. And the cuff is so simple to put on because it's got that little clip that allows you to just easily put it on your arm or on your wrist, wherever you're going to take it. So it's never been easier. The batteries are already included, so you don't have to go out and shop for anything. Everything you need, even your questions and answers, are going to be in there for you. They're worth a little brochure. We've got got that for you. And it's a great system for you and your family. We hope that you'll bring it home. So you've got results now.
We do. Like I said, it takes about 40 seconds. It's so quick and easy. I'm going to turn this off. I want to turn it back on so you can see the backlight. When you push the memory button, again, the very first thing that comes up is an average for that user. The backlight's turned off on this one. But that first thing is an average for the last 3 readings for that user. And then as you scroll back, you can get the most recent measurement and go back in time that way. It's really, really useful that this is storing that for you so you can take it with you and discuss your results with your doctor. You know, one of the things that's really important to understand, you mentioned it and I just want to reiterate it, is that this can happen to anybody at any stage of life. It's not simply for people that are getting older. We're seeing it a lot more in young people, teenagers, young children even. And it's really a trend that we're trying to correct. Like you said in the opening, I think every house in America should have a blood pressure monitor. It's just one of those things that should be in the house so that you can take care of yourself and find out if you have this going on. Because day after day, it's causing damage. Whether you know it or not, it's causing damage every single day if you have high blood pressure.
Right, and that damage doesn't need to be there. You can protect your family. And we're down to 300 now. We only have 300 for the entire country. So if you want your family protected, you know, today's the day to bring home this beautiful monitor and healthcare system. That's what I would consider it. You know, it's from SmartHeart. It has this larger than life almost a monitor. It's lit so that you've got that LED lighting, so it's easy to read. That's really important. And because the cuff has been redesigned with the little clip, it's so easy to put on. So if you're by yourself and you're checking your blood pressure on a regular basis, or you would like to, this makes it that much easier than any system that we've ever had before. So again, we're below 300 now. So we want to make sure that you've got one in your family, whether you know it or not. There could be someone that is suffering from high blood pressure because it is what they call the silent killer. You know, I don't like to use scare tactics. We just want you to know that you could be suffering from high blood pressure and not even know it because there really aren't any symptoms. That's what makes it that insidious kind of a disease.
That's right.
But easy to remedy by just learning. And for less than $15,
right?
You can have this home for less than $15 and start to use it to get the results. We always have our 30-day money-back guarantee. If you get it home and you say, like, I'm not using it, not so much, you can always send it back. But this is one of those things, just like a thermometer we were saying before the show. This should be in your first aid arsenal for your family. So just like a thermometer, this is one of those must-have medical devices.
It really is essential. You know, we do so many things to take care of ourselves, Melinda. We buckle our seatbelts, we brush our teeth, we go for our checkups. We do all these things, we work out. But this is something that a lot of folks don't think about doing, and it's something that's so simple and could literally change the course of your long-term health. I've seen so many young people that have come into health fairs, places I've volunteered, and they sit down, get their blood pressure taken. They're fit, they're young, they're doing everything right, and yet on the inside they have this high blood pressure going on, and they're simply not aware of it. So a few things really stand out about this particular machine to me. The very first thing is the display. I think the display is absolutely gorgeous.
It's amazing.
One of the things that happens, diabetes, high blood pressure, and low vision tend to go together. And so if you're out there right now and you have these things going on, you know what I'm talking about. So this is going to make that so much easier for you to see your results, to be able to know what's going on inside your body. And again, I mentioned over there that the backlight was off on that one. I want to show it to you on this. Oh, wrong button. So let's do that again.
It's kind of backwards and upside down.
Okay, so there we go. So this first thing is the average, but you can see how this is going to light up for you. You have the option of turning it off.
Right.
This also it has 3 separate alarms that you can set. And why would you want an alarm on your blood pressure machine? Well, maybe you're taking medication at the same time every day and you need a little reminder. Maybe you want to check your blood pressure at the same time every day and you want something to remind you. There are 3 separate alarms that you can set. Again, this supports 2 users. So if you're in the house and you're taking your blood pressure and you have a loved one at home that is also monitoring their blood pressure, you can now keep your results completely separate. There's no confusion switching back and forth. You can see how easy it is. Each one has its own dedicated button, so there's no confusion. Same thing with the memory here.
Well, you know, I love this because you were telling me this. You could take this to your doctor. So the next time you go see your doctor, you just take your monitor in with you and you have 90 days worth of readings. Your doctor can see exactly where you are, where the progress is, what's happening with your body.
That's right.
It's a great way to really get a better feel. We've only got 200 left, so for the whole country. When we sell out of that quantity, we're done. So I just want to let you know. Yeah. So this is we expect it to sell out today, and this is the only airing of the day. So I hope that this is not only just in your shopping cart, but you press purchase, because this is going to make a difference in your family's health. And why not know? Don't be afraid to get the information.
That's so important, Melinda. You know, I mean, very often we think about health things and we don't want to think about it. But this is one of those things that you can do for yourself that can really have a huge impact on the course of your health. I just want to show you one more time before we close how easy this is to do by yourself at home because of this cup design. It's really brilliant. When I looked at it, I thought, well, why hasn't anybody thought of this before? It makes everything so much easier. And again, one touch is all it takes to get started here. This is going to begin taking Jen's blood pressure. It takes about 40 seconds to get that information.
Right.
You know, one of the worst things that you can do is nothing. You know, that's one of the things that I try to tell everybody is, you know, if you find out your numbers are a little out of range, do something about it. You don't have to suffer any of those long-term consequences, heart attack, stroke, kidney disease, any of that. You can take steps to correct it. Get the information. Knowledge is power, as Melinda said in the opening. And, you know, this really is something that every house should have.
They really should. Just like a thermometer, you wouldn't be without a thermometer for your family. This is another great tool for you to learn about your health and to make sure that you're tracking it. And what age you're at, you know, what your weight is, what your race is. We all have a propensity, you know, any of us could be subject to
at any time.
At any time. Right. So find out, you know, we have under 100, a little over 100 left, so for the whole country. So Rob will be back at 2 p.m. But this item won't be one of the items. This will sell out.